Hey folks, how you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Well, I was just going to mention this that of course when you take the L, it seems to all come in one big thing and in one big week. Apparently, there's been a lot of L's. As usual, the left is a good term for L, for loser, because they have taken so many L's and they seem to know it. But if you've dug a pit so deep already, you might as well just keep digging because that's probably the only direction you can go at this point. And that's where we are with Fani Willis, the George Soros-funded DA who has charged Trump with several charges, and including RICO charges, which are absolutely ridiculous. Which is kind of funny because actually, these are the ones who are involved in racketeering. Actually, this group of people. So you're looking at the DAs in New York, Letitia James, Fani Willis. These people are all involved in the same actual racketeering, which is basically they are in a cabal together, all getting phone calls from the White House to do this. Okay, please do this. Unravel these states by not enforcing the laws, first of all, as DAs, because they are Soros funded. That's what Soros wants, deconstruction. But what's important and relevant for right now and today is that these charges are actually, it's strange, but in the sense of legality, they're actually a projection of their own crimes. And that's the sad part. Not so sad for me, but sad for Fani Willis is she was hesitant. The Biden White House called her and said, go for it, do it. We want you to press charges against Donald Trump. Of course, when you're doing great evil in the world, like Fani Willis and so on, it'll come back and bite you. Kind of like in The Crucible, where, you know, that husband accuses his wife of being a witch and being involved in witchcraft. And that eventually later on, as it comes full circle, he himself gets accused of being involved in witchcraft. And that's kind of how this goes. If you step out and engage in these practices that you know are unethical, it's going to get you. And it is coming down pretty quick on these people. So Georgia State Senate approves a committee to investigate Fani Willis. Hooray! Hooray! And so the Georgia State Senate approved Friday the creation of a committee to investigate Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. The Senate voted 30 to 19. Yeah, pretty much a majority there, to investigate Willis in response to allegations that she awarded her alleged lover. This is the problem. You shine the spotlight on yourself for your attempt at making a name for yourself and being famous for, I took down Donald Trump. You also put yourself in that spotlight. And then the light turns on you. These things don't work. They always come full circle. Karma comes and gets you. Willis, so she awarded her alleged lover, the special prosecutor, which we know, Nathan Wade, a lucrative contract that she benefited from when he took her on vacations using money he earned from his position. I suspect they also sign anti-bribery agreements and do anti-bribery training in these government positions, which is required for very good reason. There's quite a few people who don't pay attention to that. I would say at the top levels right now, but that's what you should do. And you usually sign something, or it's just going to be an ethics training that you take where you have to sign that you did it, blah, 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 confirm that. But apparently these people don't pay attention to that. They think they're above that. So she benefited from this lucrative contract when he took her on vacations using money he earned from his position. So that's Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor, who did that. Senator Greg Dolezal introduced the legislation Monday to create a Senate special committee on investigations, which would have the power to issue subpoenas and compel production of records. I am deeply troubled by the poor judgment of our DA, Fani Willis, Republican State Senator Brandon Beach said during debates Friday. According to the Telegraph, I believe this scheme was a fraud against the court and a fraud against the taxpayer, which absolutely misuse of taxpayer funds. And also, this is bribery. No matter how you cook it, it's bribery so that they could get special contracts. Bank statements included in court filings. Now, here's the part that liberals love to ignore: evidence. Okay? They like to ignore evidence. Biden's bank statements, they never mention that. Yeah, they're always like, these are just accusations from Republicans. I'm like, yeah, but the bank statements actually say that he did business with China. Same here. Bank statements included in court filings for Wade's divorce revealed he purchased tickets to Miami and San Francisco in Willis's name. Willis did not disclose the Miami ticket, which was purchased on October 2022, on her 2022 financial disclosure, according to a document obtained by Daily Caller. Wade has earned nearly $654,000 from the district attorney's office since 2022. Oh my gosh. Per county data, his contract started on November 1st, 2021, and he filed to divorce his wife the next day. Senate Resolution 465, sponsored by Senator Greg Dolezal, is on the floor. Democrats opposed Republicans during debate on the resolution for spending time on bedroom politics, which is exactly what they're doing to Donald Trump. Bedroom politics, okay? But that's what you do in politics. Blame game is the number. I think that's got to be the number one rule when you enter into politics. Forget your constituents. Forget what they want. Go into politics, and the first lesson you learn is deflection and redirection. Gavin Newsom, he's the king of this. All we've heard is allegations, and most of it comes from an ex-wife who's mad and wants to get some money. Democrat State Senator David Lucas said, according to the outlet, "We have a system, let it play out." Well, this is the system, that if people do this, and there is obviously evidence from bank statements that they broke the law, this is the system. We have a system, let it play out. This is how it plays out. Just letting you know. The multitude of accusations surrounding Mrs. Willis, spanning from allegations of prosecutorial misconduct, no surprise there, to questions about the use of public funds and accusations of an unprofessional relationship, underscores the urgency for a thorough and impartial examination. Dolezal said in a statement earlier this week, the district's attorney's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So let's look at my favorite part, just some of the comments, okay, back and forth. Do you think the staff, Luis Ramirez, I think who wrote the article, said, "Do you think Willis will be removed from her position?" Somebody said, "Not only removed as a barrister, but given a new position behind bars. I truly hope so if found guilty by this committee." Well, yeah, yep, and Wade will dump her. And you know that's the case usually, is when there's usually like a lover's tryst or something like that. You see this like in high-profile murder cases where there's been a conspiracy between two lovers to kill off somebody else, like a husband. These two lovers were having an affair, so they were like, okay, we got to kill the woman's husband, and then we'll be able to get married, and we won't have to deal with divorce issues. But then when they both get caught, they're like, "I will stand by you. I will stand by you." And it takes seriously like an average of like 2 days before one of the other people goes, "Okay, she did it. She killed him." Yeah. And they turn on him. Easy, because they go to jail and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to be in here. This is horrible. And I could potentially be here for life or 50 years or something." So anyway, so Fani's a black Democrat, so she'll probably get a promotion. Well, there is something to be said for that. You can scream racism all day long, but it actually is kind of true, objectively true, right now, the way the system is set up. If you're black in this system, you are getting special favors usually right now. That's systemic racism. If you want a definition, that is. And I'm just saying, that's probably the only thing right now, because for some reason that's getting pushed up, and probably from like all the BLM stuff. I'm saying right now, Asian or somebody else or white or whatever, this would not happen. But it's kind of funny because it may be a joke, but I'm like, well, that is kind of true. You get rewarded. And because skin color has become the new diversity rather than diversity of thought or diversity of skills, things like that. So I'm just saying, objectively, if you look at it, that is kind of a thing. But not for everybody. I'm not saying all people are like this, but just that is kind of, there is some truth to that. No, because that would bring out all those calls about that action being racist. Yeah, she's definitely ethically challenged. Is that what they did against Georgia law? Misappropriating taxpayer funds. Isn't it at least a type of embezzlement? Well, yeah. And Gorilla Monsoon, good name, says, I believe you are correct. One could also make a case that it is money laundering. At the very least, it is a premeditated grifting scheme where Willis awarded a contract to her boy toy that was almost twice the hourly rate than the contract she awarded the other attorneys, siphoning off money that was allocated solely for a county court case and using that money for personal enrichment is also governmental fraud. And as Senator Dolezal said, fraud against the court, which is a serious offense. We don't need any more committees to study anything. The proof is there for all to see. Now let's quit stalling and do something. I know. This is just what politicians do, and they've always done from the beginning of time. Let's have a committee. A committee. Okay, but I don't know. Maybe they got to get their ducks in a row or something. I'm not confident that she will get what she has coming. In most well-run private organizations, she would already be dismissed or at least placed on unpaid leave pending determination of possible civil or criminal charges. In most military units, she'd already be on report both for fraternization and for financial improprieties. But in Fulton County, Georgia, a government employee, I'm not holding my breath waiting for the right thing to happen. Correct. I kind of believe that possibly will be the case. But the probably the more effective part of this too, and I believe Fani Willis, she probably is more affected by this. The squeeze is on. She's sitting there trying to go after Donald Trump, and now the light shines on her and her sins. Okay, let's just call it that. And now the squeeze is on, and I would say, unless you're a complete sociopath, you probably are feeling kind of stressed out. Who knows? I don't know her. But I'm just saying that could be the case. Fani is a joke and not a very smart individual. I kind of believe that too. I believe that she is a puppet. So she's like a Kamala Harris, not an intelligent human. Doesn't matter. Some of the haters would say, but people went to a really good college or something like that. We know what colleges are like nowadays. And that academics has become quite a bit of a farce nowadays. And people are getting through academics without bibliographic references. They're getting through with plagiarizing. Claudine Gay is your best evidence right here, the president of Harvard. Over 50 papers that were plagiarized. Okay? So that kind of gives us an indication, yes, academia has become a joke. Okay? So she's not very smart. I do believe that. I believe she's like, I'll take the money and just do whatever you say and go with it. I hope she gets her attorney license revoked. All of this being brought on by the Democrats. It is time for these lawsuits to be trashed. Yep, Willis and Wade deserve everything that's happening right now. Let's not forget Wade, Fani's lovey flunky. He willingly and knowingly participated in this grifting scheme as well. Both of them should be disbarred, served some jail time, and made to repay every cent of the money they stole, along with punitive fees to boot. Well, that committee should be wrapping up and publishing conclusions from its investigation of Fulton's Fani a few days after this November's election cycle. Sadly, that's my guess too. She's done for. Likely will be disbarred, career over. Of course, she's a Democrat, so the two-tier system of justice that exists may just see her nominated for POTUS. That's actually true. Because she got this call, hey, it's time to indict Donald Trump from the White House. Because it's all been weaponized. This is the great lawfare weapon, is to pull out as many indictments as possible against Donald Trump. And if you throw enough mud at the wall, hopefully some of it sticks. It's ridiculous right now. But this is this type of stuff. This is why we need free speech. And I won't go on about this in a diatribe. I'm just saying this is why we need free speech, because this needs to be exposed for the American public to see, for the world to see. Good or bad, ugly, all that, it should all be allowed to be in the news. That's why I don't believe in censorship, because we can actually see what's going on. Stuff like this is always going on, but now we're seeing where there's so much information out there and there's so many people investigating and looking into it that now we're seeing more, I think, as a country than we've ever seen before. We have been in the dark. Many Americans have been asleep. I love you, America. I'm just saying, myself included. But now the light's being shown on all these people and all their sins. We act surprised, but I think this has been going on for ages and ages. Of course, we know that, but also that could be down to the lowest denominator too, like sexual deviancy, Epstein's Island, all those things. We're seeing all that come out too, which we suspected, but now we actually know. She's done for, likely will be disbarred, career over. Of course, she's a Democrat, so the two-tier system. Yeah, we read that. Who's the 19 who voted against? Who was split on the vote? What was the split on the vote, Dems versus Reps? I don't know. Can you try a case from prison of a defendant in prison who's also the president in prison? I hope we find out if those boring EU countries will be so jealous. Do people realize this woman could not travel in the UK without underlying Snickers accompanying being introduced by her full name? That's pretty funny. Not sure that matters to this article's content, just an odd thought I've had since she showed up in the news. It's nice to see the hunter become the hunted. That's an excellent phrase. I like that. Well, anyway, the shitty be hitting the fanny. Well, kind of. Fanny ho. Okay, so here we go into the slings and insults, which, hey, I'm not too averse to, because at this point, this person, she has no respect. No respect. She's a slime. And we know that right now, as we have it, we are being run by a majority system influenced by the White House, who is also influenced by China right now. It's just a fact. We saw that with Biden and his dealings with China. 20 companies set up so he could receive funds from China, different people that he was doing business with, in exchange for selling off information about the United States that nobody else was privy to, and using his position for that, of course. So anyway, folks, that's kind of the gist of it. You start swinging the sword around, eventually it hits your own arm. That's kind of what's going on. And if you start wielding it, unscrupulously like this is what happens. So anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and I will talk to you later. Bye.